Hi everyone, welcome to the SPED Lab here at Youngstown State University. I'm Mrs. Cruz and I'm the supervisor here for the SPED Lab. So I wanted to take some time to do this video because our SPED Lab looks much different than it normally does in typical times. As you know, we've all been affected by the pandemic and we felt it best that we would take the SPED Lab from being an in-person lab online. So you are going to experience the SPED Lab virtually. It's not ideal and it's not certainly what we would want for all of our students. However, we're going to make the best of it and hopefully you will come away with this same experience that you would have if you were in person. So in addition to me working in the lab as your supervisor, there are three other teaching assistants that will be working with me and will be running your live sessions throughout this semester. We have Demetra, Cassie, and Jenna, all of which are wonderful young ladies and will do a fabulous job of running your session. They are there to support you and answer questions, as am I. So I've got a couple notes here that I want to go through and make sure that I let you know of what's to be expected when it comes to the SPED Lab because it is part of your grade for your 2630 course. So with that being said, you now know that this is a lab. This is a separate grade a separate grade that is put into your 2630 class with Mrs. Krivosh. So you attend her course, you learn her material, but then you, in addition, are coming at a different time to the SPED Lab. So make sure that you double check your schedule and look for 2630L, and that is your assigned time. Some of you will be coming once a week or signing on once a week, and others of you come twice. So just make sure that you have checked that out. That is the time that you registered for quite a bit of long time ago. We are going to utilize Blackboard Collaborate. So just like you are in some of your other online courses, this SPED Lab, you will log on to Blackboard and you will attend a live session. You must be in attendance for that session for the entire length of the time. That is what you registered for. That's what we would have had you doing if you were in person. So we will have you do the same thing virtually. If you do not attend, you are going to receive a 0 for that day. And just know that your attendance matters in this lab. Every week, our TAs will send a weekly report, a weekly update to Mrs. Krivosh to keep her up to date on who is completing what, where everybody is in terms of the simulations and their progress, and then also who is and who is not attending the sessions. If there are any issues with attending a session, perhaps you get sick or an emergency arises, the best thing you can do is communicate. Communicate either with your TA or you can communicate with me. As long as we have that documented, that's going to be a blessing to you because then we won't count that against you. But we don't know what you don't tell us. So just remember, keep very good open communication. As the session is running, it will be live time, but it's not going to be a lecture or anything like that. What you're going to do is, and there will be a separate screen recording in Blackboard so that you can follow along exactly what you're supposed to do. But your TA will open the session. It'll start, you'll log on as if you would have normally. Your TA is going to take attendance and she is going to just be there to check in with you. So she might say, Johnny, what simulation are you working on during this hour? And Johnny might say, I'm working on simulation 3. And she's just going to note that in her notes, and she's going to do that for every single one of you. You don't necessarily have to complete the simulations in order. So that's also the beauty of being virtual. And you would have done that in person as well. If there was an open simulation, you could have skipped around in the room. Not all simulations can be completed, obviously, at once because we have allotted 7 weeks for 12 different simulations. Some simulations will take 20 minutes and some simulations will take 45 minutes. So it all depends on which one you're working on. Sometimes you will start working on a simulation and maybe not complete it. So you'll want to make sure throughout this process that you are saving your work and you can save that to your own computer before you submit it to Blackboard. Any questions about the simulations or the lab, of course, can be asked during that session with your TA. That's what they're there for. Or you can send them to me. No problem at all. And I will make sure that and I know that you already have my email, but I will make sure that it's listed in Blackboard just in case. So again, I'm going to reiterate, there are 7 weeks to this lab to come to this lab. You need to complete 12 simulations. You will be graded on those simulations with either 0 points for not completing. That 0 points can also be given if we have found that you have copied answers. So you want to make sure that you're being honest. 5 points if you complete something partially, and 10 points for completing it successfully. Okay, so 0, 5, and 10 is what you will see coming back on your scores for Blackboard. When you are working on those simulations, you are going to notice that there are some highlighted pink activities. Those are the COVID activities. So we have adapted some of our activities that we would have had you do in person to something that you can do at home. If there is ever an issue with these activities, perhaps you don't have something available, if maybe let's say you had to put on headphones to muffle out the sound in order to better understand what it's like to be a student with a hearing impairment, then you would definitely want to say something to your TA or just let me know, okay? We are here for you. We're here to support you and make sure that you are successful in completing these simulations. But we certainly cannot, anticipate every single need. So again, communicate. On the simulation, you will see a red stop sign, and that just means at that point it's time to stop. Even though there is some further information, that would have been the activity you would have done if it was in person. So we just like to show you what you would have been doing in person. But when you see the stop sign, you're going to stop. Also, if you have any accommodations that you have on file with Disability Services, please reach out to me. It is my job to make sure that you are successful, make sure all of my students are successful. But again, I don't know if you have a need if you haven't communicated that with me. So just make sure that you check in with me. If there are any issues with things like technology concerns, we have places on campus where you can get free Wi-Fi. Some of our students have been getting free Wi-Fi hotspots and those kinds of things. So you want to definitely check in with IT and student support during that time. We're here for you. Again, if there is an issue beyond that and you can't get an answer, reach out to me. I'm here to make sure that that you are able to do this successfully. So that is the end of this video, really. It was just a welcome video. I hope that you are excited to learn about students with disabilities. I hope that you walk away with this with more compassion and understanding of the barriers that many, many people face on a daily basis. And often we say that the world isn't built for them. And so they are constantly needing to adapt and modify and change what they're doing in order to be successful in our everyday world that we take for granted. So I hope that you walk away changed after these 12 simulations. And if you have any questions or concerns, just feel free to reach out to me. Thank you.